Hey everybody, Dan Klimke, Director of Product Marketing at NetAlly. Wanted to do a real quick presentation and demonstration for you of LANBERT, our new media qualification app for EtherScope NXG and LinkRunner 10G. So what is LANBERT all about? Let's cover that first off. It is for simple media qualification for 1 gig and 10 gig fiber links, or for 10 meg to 10 gig copper links, twisted pair, and primarily, really, to be used for validating links for speed to support multi-gig linking for your higher speed access points at 2.5 and 5 gig. That's what's been driving a lot of multi-gig switch deployments these days. So we want to be able to use this methodology to test and verify the quality and the data carrying capability of our physical cable plant. The methodology we use is to transmit multitudes of Ethernet frames and measure them for errors and loss. So BERT is a throwback term. BERT, bit error rate testing, is what that has meant in the past as a methodology for doing exactly this, just measuring what the quality and carrying capacity is of a network link. It's a cost-effective alternative to cable certification testing. You know, cable certifiers have gotten very expensive, and for most enterprises, there's not a lot of occasions of use for a certification tool, but there sure is plenty of use for a multi-purpose tool like an EtherScope. And the other factor is that if you were to utilize a cable certification tool, you know what? You got to understand that cable links can actually fail certification. They can fail certification spectacularly, but due to advances in digital signal processing, Ethernet PHYs and whatnot, links can still carry significant amounts of data. You know, the old rule of, you got to certify your cable plant to category 6 to make sure it'll run 10 gig Ethernet. Not so true anymore. So let's take a look at that. Now, there's 3 methodologies. One is to use a physical loopback. The other is to use put a switch port into loopback mode. Many switches support loopback mode, or to utilize another tester like an LinkRunner AT, LinkRunner G2. But we're going to demonstrate a methodology using a LinkRunner 10G at the far end. The big benefit of using that kind of a tester is we get a full duplex connection, up to full 10 gig speeds, and it works wonderfully. We're about to see how. But first off, I want to point out a difference. You know, how is LANBERT different from our existing technology, the Network Performance Test app? The Network Performance Test app actually includes the ability to traverse a layer 3 network. So is not only there for testing your cabling and your switching infrastructure, but is also routable traffic. So that means we can test full performance end to end. We can validate WANs from our service providers, test both layer 2, layer 3 infrastructure, and validate QoS from end to end. All right, so let's get into the demo. So here we can see I've connected to my EtherScope on the right-hand side and my LinkRunner 10G on the left-hand side, and I'm starting up the LANBERT app on both. First off, we have to go to the LinkRunner 10G, and we have to put that into loopback mode. So I'm going to the nav stack menu, selecting loopback and selecting start. Then we're going to go over to the EtherScope and click start, and off we go. Frames are being transmitted from the EtherScope to the LinkRunner 10G and coming back to the EtherScope NXG. You can see the frame sent. You can see status on the left-hand side. And oh, look, there's some packet loss occurring, or excuse me, some errored packets happening. What possibly could be going on here? So let's take a look at the test setup. Backing up the tape a little bit so you can see the testers are starting up. I've got our EtherScope on the right, LinkRunner 10G on the left. They're connected from test port to test port with a Cat6a patch cord, and then a little stub cord that I've stripped the shielding and insulation off, and I've untwisted some of the wires so that I can create a little bit of a problem on this link. So what's going to happen when we introduce a source of noise? So you can see that the motor of that drill is actually causing interference, causing noise on the line, which is resulting in errored packets. We can see that the loopback is seeing two errors, two errored frames coming to the loopback, and the EtherScope is seeing 10 errors coming back its direction. So enough of that noise. What if we just let it go for a little bit more here, and then let's try it again one more time, and this time maybe shake the cable a little bit. And there we go. We see some additional frame errors coming through, and in fact, some packet loss starting to occur right here, as well as the test just wraps up. One other thing I wanted to point out too, if you look at the LR10G on the left-hand side, note that we've linked at 5 gig, even though the EtherScope was advertising a 10 gig capability. So we've proved that we can actually link at 5 gig on this link that no doubt would have failed certification. So chances are good we would have, if we'd relied on our certification tool, we would have installed a new link here, costing us thousands of dollars, or at least a lot of money. But we were able to link at 5 gig, was successfully transmitting packets until I injected that noise. Wanted to see you to be able to see what that looked like. And that's it. That's LANBERT. I hope you found that useful. If you want more information, we've got a white paper on frame level testing on our website, netally.com. Check it out.